Hello, welcome to Star Wars Spelt Out. I'm your host, Josh Chapman, and today we're rolling on the Shadow Lord, and we're shadow dancing, we're shadow proceeding, we're shadow walking, we're shadow running to the finale. However you want to put it. Just the A-team this week. Catherine's here. G'day, Catherine.
Keep rolling. Keep rolling.
Have you been watching The Boys? Do you watch The Boys?
I got about halfway through the last season and then I stopped. I haven't caught up, so
there's like a whole
I know.
bit where there's, you know, the character, the Deke, who's like the Aquaman version, like the Aquaman. He goes all like Manosphere in the last series, and he's driving like a Cybertruck around. He's playing Limp Bizkit and stuff out of his car and things.
Of course he is.
Of course he is. It's pretty funny, to be honest. That just made me think of that. So just asked, no mole this year. It's a public holiday in Sydney today. I don't know what he's doing. He had all day. Although granted, it did only drop. The episode only dropped sort of a few hours ago, so I did manage to get it in. Sloane and I watched it again. She's been my little Darth Maul buddy again. She had a few Sloaney quips as well that were pretty good off the back of this as well, which were quite good if they come in.
Awesome.
Right. Chapter names. Catherine, hit me.
Something to Oblivion?
Call to the Oblivion?
Call to the Oblivion, yeah. Okay. And then, I had the second one. Oh, nah, I've lost it.
Creeping Fear. Creeping Fear. So I've just got the Wikipedia up here, and I was just looking. I just saw the director of this episode is a person called Nathaniel Villanueva, and we know Villanueva, our good buddy Rick Villanueva. I wonder if he's aware that there's another Villanueva directing Star Wars. Surely he would be. He's a bit of a details-orientated man, Rick. He must know for sure. I must know. And I actually have to say up front, if you're listening, and I know you are because you told me you were listening last week, to Ben Hart from Star Wars Underworld, who messaged me over the weekend and goes, I was listening to your episode, so I just made you that, Devon, what are you doing here, meme? So he's made it for me. And he's like, if you want to use it, you can use it. And I said, I'll definitely use it. I'm just waiting for the right moment again for it to happen. So thank you, Ben.
There's always a right time to use a deep cut meme like that.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. So now I've got it on my phone saved. Yeah. And even put the little podcast logo on there and everything. He was very, very... What a nice boy Ben is.
Yes.
Thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. Couple of crackers again.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Have you surprised how good this show is? Because I'm a little surprised.
Yes.
We're not massive Maul people going in, really. Like, we kind of, no. I think you're like me. We're like, hey, I was there at Phantom Menace and I thought it was cool, but I haven't been flying the Maul flag. I don't wear the T-shirts. I don't buy the hot toys. I don't do any of that.
And I haven't been loving, the animation, but this is really cool. Like, I just really love it. I love the look. Like, it looks painted. It looks so cool. They're never beating the Gotham City vibes. There was one bit in an episode where they had Morok standing, like, crouched
on the building top
the
kind
city.
Of thing.
Yeah.
Going to go dun, 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 dun. Yeah. It's been, I'm been pleasantly surprised. Although I've got to say, I don't know. I've got this issue with my Disney Plus at the moment because I'm on my brother's account where, like, you can, like, when they cracked down on the passwords, you had to add another house onto the account, and he did that because we did it without the Netflix. So we're the primary Netflix, and he's added, and it's the other way around for Disney. But for whatever reason, I can't get it to work on my Apple TV. So I've got to basically log in on my iPad, and then I've got to, like, cast it to my Apple TV, which is fine. Like, it's not too much of a hassle.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I think I stuffed up and I started the 8th episode instead of the 7th episode. So when the recap came up, I was like, when did this happen? Where was this? I don't remember any of this. And Sloane's going, we didn't see this. We didn't see this. And I'm like, oh, quick, stop the recap before we give away too much. So we kind of spoiled ourselves that that Riley had gotten captured. But everything else we sort of didn't spoil. We got out of there in time. But yeah.
Well, back with my older Apple TV box, I used to have to cast Apple Disney Plus because it just the app wouldn't download on that version.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and every time I started something, it would start in another language.
Oh yeah, like
even
the
though
preview
I had it
bit?
set to English. Sorry.
It's still it kind of does that because it does the promo is in. You know they stuff promos at the start of stuff now on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So the promo will start in German. So we've been putting Maul on, and then the Malcolm in the Middle reboot will start up, and Malcolm's just like, and I'm like, Malcolm, what's going on? And I don't know why it does it, but it's still happening. Not the show. The show's all right, but the promo is in another language.
So you don't change it, and it still works, because I would have to change it, and sometimes there was stuff where I don't know what was happening. Stuff was stuffing up, so I'd have to restart things like 3 times, and every time I'd have to get it back to English. Very annoying.
That is weird.
But anyway,
Come on, Disney, get it together. How long has Disney Plus been up for now? Like 6 years or something? It's been around. Like it was. Well, when Mandalorian came out, which was just before Rise of Skywalker dropped.
Yeah.
So nearly 7 years. Gosh, that's a long time. Wow, memories. So all those Disney Plus memories.
Timey-wimey.
Yeah. So effectively we sort of pick up where we left off. Riley and Devon are walking with Maul. Maul's sort of, they've evaded the Inquisitors and they're on their way. He's like, come with me. We're going to get you out of here. And they're all a bit suspicious of him, as you would be. But they're still sort of, going to a point, I suppose. But Riley seemed a lot less trusting of Maul these last 2 episodes. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of felt like she was faltering a little bit, and
Devon.
Yeah, Devon, sorry. She couldn't really wait to get out of there this time.
Yeah, I think, she was brought a bit back to her senses, but it's that the enemy of my enemy is at least my ally. Maybe not my friend. She recognises it's in their best interest to work together at certain times, and he is offering a way out.
Yeah.
But she's always looking for an escape hatch.
Yeah. So he basically takes them back to the base, and they're kind of going, hey, the cops are closing in here. We got to get out of here. Although the funny thing was that the little moment that I noticed was like when that shithead droid turned up, the one that you like with the the probe droid one. So they get through and they meet up with him, and they're like, Maul goes up to him and gives him like a little pat on the head, like he's his little buddy, and I'm like, that's the closest thing I've seen to Maul having a friend, like in anything.
Yeah, rubbed his head.
You're
a good boy.
Yeah.
You're a good boy.
Really a different side to Maul. I mean, we get into the next episode after this, obviously, but I was like, he kind of, he was nice to his droid, which I thought,
Yeah.
I guess because the droid's a bit of a prick like he is, so maybe he's just sort of found a common...
The droid's loyal as well, and Maul hasn't seen a lot of that in his life.
Yeah, okay. You're making me feel sorry for that droid now, but okay, not a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Maybe not really. Maybe, But, so, I mean, they get there, but it doesn't really last long. They get sort of tracked down pretty quick. Marek and his mates come in pretty quick, and they have a bit of a standoff and a bit of a shootout. There's sort of 2 big shootouts in this. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not confusing one with the other, because they kind of have the first one where they leave the base, and then they have the next one later on when they're sort of getting to the ship.
Yeah. Now, is that the Grand Inquisitor? Who is that other guy with the strange mask?
Yeah, so basically they call in the backup. Now they have the first fight, and then he turns up sort of afterwards, doesn't he? Because he's in the second fight. But he's in. The only thing I've seen him in, he's in that Tales of the Sith or Tales of the Jedi animated ones, the Ahsoka one. So he's in that episode that Ahsoka is in, and that's post her leaving the Jedi Order. I think it's post Order 66 because she's sort of like on the down low, and he turns up and he finishes her off. So that's got to be after this sometime because I'm pretty sure he dies in that. So which obviously means he makes it through this, but I don't know where his ranking is. This is the thing.
So does he have his name in the credits?
No, well, I'm looking at maybe it's in the credits, but no one's written a synopsis on these two episodes on Wikipedia yet, so I don't know yet. Someone, I could probably, dig through and find the I wonder if I can find it really. Was it Tales of the Empire? Is that what it was called? Tales of the Empire episodes.
Was it? Yeah. I don't know. Like, I got a bit lost in those, and the Ahsoka ones I didn't pay the closest attention to. Anyway, the first fight, a lot of stormtroopers. There's a lot of stormtroopers.
Are they all
on
still
this planet.
clones at this stage? What's the timeline? It's a bit of a crossover, isn't it? Because
I think it's still a transition period.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't quite. Oh, here we go. Resolve.
Yeah.
Tales of the Jedi. Resolve is the sixth last episode. The Tales of the Jedi. Coruscant troopers, undercover Jedi. Blah blah. The Emperor for the Inquisitor. The Jedi, the Inquisitor who realizes. It just says the Inquisitor. It doesn't give it a name. Yeah, there's no name on it. At least on Wikipedia. Yeah, even on Wikipedia, there is no name of this Inquisitor. It just says an Inquisitor turns up, and the Inquisitor does this, and the Inquisitor does that. So, don't know. No help from that one.
Yeah. That first fight, it sort of seemed like Devon and Riley, by running away, and then Devon and Maul having the fight on that exposed bridge, sort of leave the forces of the Empire. Yeah, because otherwise they were pretty much not surveilled. But that brought everyone there. And at certain points, Devon and Maul were fighting side by side to fight off stormtroopers. And then they came from the other side and nabbed Riley, and so she chased after them and
almost got there.
She's pretty impressive.
Yeah, she definitely is, which is obviously why Maul's interested. He's just like, oh no, because there's bits where they're kind of going, the Mandalorian lady. She's just like, no, why are we bothering with this? Like, he's like, no, like she's showing, proper abilities here. It's just about whether she's got the resolve and whether she can, whether she'll come to the party on the other side of things, but. It doesn't seem like ability is a problem.
Yeah.
But, So, Riley gets snatched. Devon sort of manages to sort of hang on for a minute, but then gets separated, basically. So then she leaves the Maul party. They go off after they've shaken the Empire, and she makes her way back to the best damn cop on the planet and Master Doki. And they're kind of hovering around in the background, trying to get there. Basically playing catch up, essentially.
Yeah. They're tracking them through the tunnels, the Master Doki. He's talking about the connection between him and Devon, and you sort of wonder, does that almost mean they can almost track each other through the Force?
Seems like it. He's kind of like, it seems like it's not going to happen right away, but if I get close enough, I'll kind of get a vibe for where they are. I think that sort of seemed like what he was implying anyway. But Yeah, so effectively Riley gets taken into the cops, and bloody old Two Boots is there. No boots. He's lost his boots. And
Although we did get a designation. Riley said his designation, so you can understand where the two boots come from. So what was it, like 2B0T?
yeah,
I think they called him.
yeah. Yeah, so that's funny because that means that obviously the boots probably came later, where it was just like, oh, you're Two Boots, let's get you some snazzy boots. And he was going, oh, that sounds like a great idea. Working on my moz. I've got to say, if you've never watched the IT Crowd, I still think is one of the funniest shows ever made. From consistently for jokes, and especially, and I don't always love a show with a laugh track, but it fits absolutely perfectly on that show. I think it was recorded live, a lot of it. My ex-girlfriend, Nat, who I had my old girlfriend in London, she worked on the IT Crowd. She was a production assistant on the IT Crowd, and she's in an episode of the IT Crowd.
Oh.
So there's an episode, if you watch it, there's an episode where I think the lady who runs the IT is trying to give up smoking, and she goes outside to like the bus shelter, and there's like these like it looks like Eastern European immigrants out there all smoking, like they're in the Depression.
Yes.
And Nat is one of the ladies in the thing. Like she's got like a babushka hat on or something on. So there you go. You can spot my ex-girlfriend in an episode of the IT Crowd. That's from got to be at least a good 20 years ago now. But yeah, it's a bit of a sidetrack. But yeah, Two Boots is I mean, he got to say, King Tom, if you're listening. You went hard on Two Boots on social media, and a lot of people I've seen it after last week were just like, Two Boots can stick it up his butt. He's a little, he's a little company man. He just sold out his mates. I'm going, give the man a minute. He's going to have to come to his senses. He's still a hero at heart. And I know we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but the seeds were sort of planted this episode where the Imperials weren't following protocol, and he didn't like that at all.
They took his boots, then they didn't follow protocol.
Yeah, strike two.
That was just a bridge too far.
Yeah, and then they locked up his best mate's son, and that was that. So,
and then they took his coffee.
Oh yeah, they did take his coffee. Yeah, that jerk from the Imperial jerk took the coffee, and that was that. Yeah, so. And then poor old Riley gets chucked in I don't know if that was this episode or last episode. I can't even remember. When he gets chucked in with the Inquisitor. Was it? I can't remember if it was the end of this episode or the start of the next one. It might have been the start of the next one.
Yeah.
I don't recall. They all I watched them back to back. They blend into each other. But effectively, the Devon meets back up with the best damn cop in the universe, plus Master Doki tells them that Riley's been captured. They've got to, hatch a plan to get out, to go back and try and rescue him. So they sort of double back to where they started. And
meanwhile,
it all starts going down. It goes down again. Like it basically, you think you had one big fight, and then it all escalates again.
This fight was like the Empire came prepared. They had far more troops, like getting them from both ways, and then. Two Inquisitors for the price of one.
Yep.
It was definitely a big one, a big battle. And with waterfalls and
how cool was the lightsabers going through the waterfalls? Well, and they're all like sparking and stuff, and that was very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was excellent. It was an excellent sequence. It was some really cool fighting. It didn't overstay its welcome. It was very impressive. Maul was still struggling with that knee. He's done his knee, basically. He's getting around with an ACL. He's hobbling around. He's definitely not 100%.
And that's really sort of, I mean, obviously, two Inquisitors coming after him is a lot, but the knee's sort of restricting him, and then he's getting more damage to that leg. It's really holding him back.
And obviously it feeds into more the next episode, but it is showing he's vulnerable. He's vulnerable, and which instantly makes him more interesting, because it's like any other time we've seen Maul, and that's not always, but like especially in the comics and things like that, he just walks into a room and just cleans house. And he did that earlier in this season. He just anytime he was like, all those crime people just walked in, cleaned house. What's next, sort of thing. So the fact that he was sort of hobbled, struggling, he basically gets into a corner. He gets knocked down, dragged out to a point where he puts his hands up and he basically says, "All right, you got me. Take me in." And Eric's like, "Nah, dog. This is we're not here to take you in. We're here to, our master wants you finished off," which sort of triggers him, doesn't it? He's like, "Well, that's the final insult."
Yeah. I think he already had thought of the way out, but that was fine. Definitely him going, "Yeah, nah, you're dead."
Yep.
I'm just going
to pull the roof. Yeah, I'm pulling the roof down.
That and then also one of the Dathomir brothers, went down there to sort of support more got sabred.
Yep. Oh, yeah, and not to mention the prick Mandalorians who were getting a little bit fed up with the whole thing, had to leave the money behind, sick of running around, so they just go, "Oh, you know what, we'll just, in all the chaos, we'll just go get the ship and we'll get out of here ourselves," basically. And they made it about 100 meters off the ground.
Yep.
And that was that.
Blown out of the sky.
Blown out of the sky, but also it did mean that was the way, they didn't have any way to get off planet then all of a sudden. So
can I just say Spybot takes out a lot of troopers here, including grabbing one, taking him over at the edge and just dropping him.
Little prick. Yeah, he's still a little bugger. But it was, I mean, the whole sequence was really good. And it was, like you said, it was sort of waves and waves of stormtroopers coming through. And they were still flying the Republic gunships as well, which I think was quite an interesting touch. They hadn't all, it's still quite off the back of the Clone Wars. So they're all just flying around in the Republic gear. There were not too many sort of, TIE fighters or anything like that. Yeah, great sequence, but it does end with Maul basically sort of bringing down the roof. And then we kind of basically just pick up exactly where we left off. So they sort of...
and actually like replay the last
scene, which was interesting. And then kind of the angle was slightly different a little bit as well. And
and we see him in that sort of glance to his side and spot the opening. So it's like, okay, that's my way out.
Yeah.
Before he pulls down the roof.
Yeah. And then he basically sort of, and he does this sort of like, so he gets away from them. He jumps out the door or out the opening thing and towards the sort of back where the fight was, and there's sort of the chasm and there's all that sort of stuff. And he does this sort of like little pirouette thing when he was jumping down. It seemed to his little, like he was doing like a turnbuckle, like a twisty kind of.
Well, I took that as he's going like basically head first, so he's turning with his lightsaber ignited, so the lightsaber's cutting a hole through the big metal bridge.
Well, that's what I thought he would do, but we didn't actually see it. Or did I miss it? It felt like we saw him do the spin, and I thought that they would cut to a wide and he'd just go straight through, or he would do, that's what I thought he would do, or he would do something that would just slow his fall or whatever, but he sort of did his little twist, a half axle with a twist or whatever it is, and then that was it. And then he was sort of, he'd kind of gotten away.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it just seemed weird that they sort of did that bit but didn't show the payoff. But anyway, whatevs. That was all cool. But you can't keep Inquisitors down. I don't know. Did you think that maybe that was how Marek got all like messed up? He was going to have a boulder dropped on him and they were going to have to, he was going to be all squished.
Yeah, I wonder if this is the show where we see him die, and then somehow, Maul offers him to the witches or to someone to then become a green gas dude.
Yeah, because there's still quite a lot of, because like this is just post episode 3, and he turns up in Ahsoka, which is post Return of the Jedi. So that's a good 20 years of sitting around being on ice, or who knows. So. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure Dave Filoni's got a plan. He's he's got his little whiteboard out. I'm sure he knows where everything, where all the bits go. Yeah. So essentially, they all leave, and then Riley gets interrogated by the Inquisitor, which I think is post that battle. That they kind of put him in. They put him in the room and don't really know what goes on. He doesn't seem to he's particularly enjoyed it, but he didn't have to like go through anything that Bix had to go through. He didn't get the Bix headphones put on or anything like that.
No, but you can imagine. We saw in The Force Awakens how Kylo Ren like went into like pose and tried to go into Rey's mind.
Mm-hmm.
So you probably think that Inquisitor guy's doing something similar as well.
Yeah, he could just really be intimidating him. He kind of felt like he could just sort of stand there, and he was like, "Whatever you want, man, I'll take." But he's kind of like, "Well, I don't really know anything. These dudes showed up at my door, and
Riley sort of saying, answering all the questions. So, and the Inquisitor's sort of there, intimidating, but it also will be able to tell if he's telling the whole truth and whatever.
Yeah,
and maybe not doing a deep mind probe, but definitely a presence there in his mind.
So I'd be curious to see whether there was anything that he gave up that pays off later. They sort of he kind of says, "Oh, I didn't really have anything to say," but whether there is actually something that pays off that they do. But essentially, do you
want to hear my crackpot theory that probably won't come true?
Sure, love a good crackpot theory.
That the Inquisitor sort of implanted something, or basically, hypnotize him or something, so that he will leak if he gets rescued. He will leak the location of the Jedi back to the Inquisitors.
Like track her up the butt or something, or
no, he will just contact them like a sleeper agent or something.
Yeah, like they'll say like marshmallow, and he'll like ding, and he'll just sort of yeah, it's very plausible. It just seems weird to go to the trouble of having that dude in the room with him and then no actual payoff. So it feels like there's more to that. Because he does actually, he essentially gets out. Brandon sort of, calls up Two Boots a couple of times, and Two Boots can't answer the phone. Then eventually gets in touch and says, "I'll trade you him for me. That's who they want." But Two Boots, he did the good guy turn, King Tom. If you're listening, mate, it's always going to happen. You really just sell him out, put him in the same category as that shithead droid. But anyway. But he busts him out, walks him out the door, and he's got the old stunner out, and he's stunning a few people left and right while it's going on.
Please duck.
Yeah. And while this is going on, Maul's having an existential crisis. He's down a hole and he's falling to bits. And he's kind of like he has a real, like he's looking at his reflection like he's Gollum in the Thing, and like hating his reflection, and really sort of having a hard time.
Yeah, so we see like child Maul, we see
Savage oppressed,
young Maul and Savage, and we see memories of Sidious. Now, I'm just wondering if people are taking bets on the appearance of the Emperor in the season, whether that would count.
I don't know. Did the Scruffies do a prediction show? I don't remember. I don't recall if they did for Maul.
No, they didn't do a prediction show for Maul. Very disappointingly.
Might be an argument would be going on right now about who's getting points for that.
It would come down to the wording of the prediction.
Yeah. Well, producer Dave might have to, make the final call on that one. So he's effectively having he's having a rough time, and he's having flashbacks to Sidious and his training. And he's kind of his body's
Savage being killed.
Yeah, and he's sort of going, brother got killed, my mates got killed, planet got taken over. It's all been pretty bad, really. But it was kind of funny because he was kind of going like, I'm not going to let this happen to anybody else, as opposed to just revenge. It felt like his motivation changed slightly. but he was still willing to take an apprentice. I assume when he takes an apprentice, he's not going to exactly be a particularly nice guy, but who knows? Maybe he's got a different approach. It was quite funny when he went through all of that, and I was kind of watching it. It's a little bit arty-farty and a little bit more serious, and I'm sort of sitting there with Sloane watching it. And that whole sequence kind of, happens, and then they cut back to the other crew, and Sloane just goes, "Meanwhile..." It's just like, get me back to the heroes, thanks. I've seen enough of Maul wallowing around in his own, his own self-pity kind of thing. But and that was interesting. Like, he even had a little tear, like, a little cry. He just needed a moment.
My head during this was thinking, Sam Whitner, how hard is it on his throat, on his voice, to do the Maul voice all the time, especially Maul angry voice? Mm-hmm. It's a harsh one.
Well, it's not his accent either, as well.
No,
he's based.
Didn't
Pete Serafinowicz?
Didn't John Lennon have to do? Which song did he have to do last? Because
Twist and Shout. Because it would wreck his throat.
Twist and Shout.
I think he does all these Kenobis. Oh, and there was a Kenobi cameo as well.
Was there? I was listening for it.
Well, he sees the lightsaber come at him.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's a fun for the freeze framers, but I don't know whether you actually see Kenobi at all, or if it's just the lightsaber itself. But there was
you sort of saw
a figure. Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't really make out like the features, but we all know, okay, that would be Kenobi, because obviously that's then when he gets sliced.
Yep.
In half, and Obi-Wan had Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber at that point.
Yep.
Which was green. Yeah.
Yes, I remember it well. But so it was an interesting sequence. It was good I thought it was just interesting to show, just to be more vulnerable, a little bit more interesting. It was just sort of like, cool, they did that. And so while that's going on, they bust Riley out of the big house. Devon goes up and steals a car from some thugs, and they go on a little hot rod car chase across town, which was quite a cool sequence. She's just sort of like, Sloane particularly like that. She liked Devon taking charge, doing all. I don't know what will happen if Devon goes to the dark side. I think Sloane's going to appreciate that too much. She's become quite a big fan of Devon, so we'll see whether it actually happens or not. I mean, it's still sort of pointing towards that eventuality, but yeah.
Yeah. I did like it during the car chase when she hit the boosters.
And all the bikes got sort of left behind.
Yeah. No, that was a very cool speeder chase through the city. It looked amazing. It felt fast. It felt really kinetic. It was really good. Someone's been watching Mad Max.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, look, I just think the whole sequence was very, very good. Sorry, someone's just come into my room right now. Just interrupt. Just can't get a moment. Yeah. Catherine's waving to Kat, who's just coming to get. No, don't come back. Anyway. It just shows it's live. Anything can happen when you're going live over here. So they get away. Where do they just get away? I can't remember. Did anything happen after that? Oh no, they go back to the ship because Brandon Lawson's mate. She's got the way out. She's got the ship, and
so they were heading to those coordinates, to get the transport out, because they only had 2 hours, hence the risky plan.
Yep.
And they're heading down in the turbo lift.
Yep. And then there's some bad vibes. Devon's getting bad vibes. She's going, this doesn't smell right. I think she might be compromised. And so Brandon just gives her a call, and she's just, and I can't remember. There's something she said. She's like, "We'll be good to take you to." So obviously, the destination means must be so wrong that he picked up straight away that something wasn't quite smelling right. But again, all those hundreds of troops or whatever, they just pack up and go to the next location, really, don't they?
Well, they're all there and they've taken over the turbo lift to just then come down. They can't stop it or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But she takes down a whole lot and then blows up the engine. And
yeah, does a great move while they sort
Yeah.
of cut a hole in the top of the lift and get out the top of the get out of the thing and suitably escape. So I hope she gets away, but it seems like she got landoed. I had no choice. They got here right before you did, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry too. But yeah, so they're still on the run basically, and then we cut back to Maul, who finally turns up, finds what's left of his crew, and little what's his face? What's the name of the little you know what I'm talking about? The little crime dude.
Yeah.
They go to his rivals' offices because they're basically empty. So, where is it? No, not Marek.
Yeah. But he gets a call, which they're a bit narky about because they're like, those could be traced. He's like very confident with this. This is encrypted.
Oh yeah.
And it was from Dryden Voss.
Dryden Voss himself.
Wanting to
talk turkey. Crimson Dawn.
Yep.
Back
Crimson Dawn
on
name drop.
Yep. So hopefully that means that we see some Dryden Voss. Now, I'm pretty sure this is as far as anybody who got screeners has seen. I think they gave out the first 8 episodes to Lucky Duckies, who got to see, a fair bit of it. And I think this is as far as they got. So everybody's on the same page with everybody else, and that's a pretty good drop to be like, ooh. And this is still a good 10 years, 8 years before Solo too. So whether Dryden Voss is a little bit further down the chain in Crimson Dawn, maybe he's at the level where he just talks to the crime bosses. He's not the big dude. But yeah.
Yeah.
Probably good little cliffhanger.
Yeah, I've been enjoying these.
Looty? Yes. Looty is his name.
I like the two. Okay, I like the 2 episode drop, with there being 28 minutes or something.
Yeah, 24, 26, 28. Yeah, you can get through it pretty easily without too much hassle. Yeah, the 2 episodes has worked really well for this, and it's especially the way that, like you said, one episode's led into the other quite, really well, and we got the sort of him dropping the roof and then picking it up straight back where it left off and all that kind of stuff. So, so I think that, good stuff. We're ready for more, ready for the finale. So we're going to pivot very slightly here, Catherine, about the finale.
Yep.
We are hoping to do the finale on this time next week, but we might not be doing it this time next week because if everything goes to plan, we will be going to a special Star Wars event on Monday in Melbourne.
Yes.
We've been chosen.
Anxiously awaiting.
Awaiting confirmation that we are attending the special Mandalorian and Grogu events that they're doing around the world in different places, and IMAX in Melbourne is one of them. And in this business, it's not about what you know, it's all about who you know. And one of our good friends at Star Walking has generously asked us if we'd like to attend.
Yep.
So we can say his name, Luke Sword, who's been on here, who runs Star Walking. So we said, yep, we'd love to go. So we're just waiting for the passes to be in our hot little hands. So we're hoping that they're going to be there. The Blue Banther Milk Boys are going as well. They've already been confirmed. So that's exciting, but it is on Monday night when Maul comes out, and we've got to go into the city to do it, or not to the city, to Carlton to do it. So I was kind of going, what would be really smart? Because I think this is just 20 minutes of footage or something, first 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Is going, why don't you show the last 2 episodes of Shadow Lord on IMAX, and we can watch the finale on IMAX while we're there, when we're all Star Wars'd up, and then we could just record our finale reaction, at IMAX afterwards, and it'll all be in the can. But it seems to be, with a little bit of sleuthing that Sean from Blue Banther Book has done, is that apparently the Michael Jackson movie is on at like an hour after the start time of this thing. So it seems like maybe they are showing. I don't know. I'm assuming IMAX only has one screen. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think it's just the one.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty
Big,
massive screens.
Who's watching Michael Jackson on IMAX? Anyway, point being, it's very unlikely that that's the case. So it does mean that we won't be watching Maul when we normally do, depending on how late we are out and everybody gets home and has dinner and has to do stuff with their families. Blah, 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 blah. We might record our finale the day after, like we did with Andor. But we'll play it by ear. But I've got a feeling, by the time... Because it'll be by the time even if we left there, got home, ate dinner, watched it, recorded, it would be late. So, we got lives. We need our beauty sleep. So if we don't have anything on this week on the Monday, probably check our socials because we'll probably be posting from the Star Wars event, hopefully. We'll be doing our little selfies in front of a cardboard cutout of Grogu. We're photographing our swag. Maybe we'll get a poster or something. Maybe there'll be a Hugh Fleming poster. That would be awesome.
Oh, don't tempt me with a good time.
They're good, those events. Like we've been to a few of them. We've gotten like posters and like figures and stuff sometimes and things. Like they're good fun. But going for 25 minutes, so it does seem a bit like. Anyway.
Yeah. Look, we don't know what will happen. We'll just cross our fingers. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
I mean, we could take an iPad, download it, and watch it. But it's not ideal. I feel so. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So anyway, that's just a little bit of housekeeping off the back of that. We will. There's a day after, isn't there? Yeah. So the last episode will be out. The review will be out before Star Wars Celebration tickets go on sale. So we won't go into that too much because we will have next week to talk about that probably just before that happens. And then we'll find out our fate basically off the back of that. Whether we do depending on how it goes, maybe we will do an episode of we're going to Celebration or. One of us is going to Celebration, or none of us are going to Celebration at this time, or who knows? Maybe the running man just falls over and dies, and the whole thing is a bit of a shit show, or maybe it's just smooth and it's done, and you can go back to bed and everything's fine. So,
see, if you're going to hate a non-sentient being, it should be the Walking Man. Like Walking Man, rather than Spybot, should get all of your hatred.
Yeah, well, I'll reserve my judgment on what the experience is like with Walking Man in about a week's time. But I mean, granted, it's annoying, but we have gotten in every time. I mean, even you got Andor panel through the Walking Man last time as well. So we've been reasonably well looked after from the Walking Man, but that doesn't make it any less stressful or any more fun. We have to have a little powwow, I think, with the people who are going who gets in first, who does everybody want this ticket just in case? Let's keep the messenger thing going and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Chat group at 5 a.m.
Yep, chat group at 5 a.m. If I get 4 Jedi Master tickets, does everybody want a Jedi Master ticket, or do I just buy one for myself, or do I even buy one at all? I don't know. These are questions. Well, I think that's about it. I think we'll knock it on the head. We've done a good job here. It's still reasonably early. There's time for me to go and watch Company Retreat after I put this up, which is the plan.
Excellent.
Or AFL 360. Actually, no, I'm not going to watch AFL 360 after what happened on the weekend, but we don't need to talk about that. But
I turned the television on at halftime and went, "Oh, that's all right."
And then saw the score later and went, It was an absolutely beautiful day in Melbourne, and I had an awesome day. My dad came along, and I was there with my best mate, and Kat was there, and we had a really great day. But this the result. So no footy talk this week. But anyway, so thank you everybody. Catherine, I will see you hopefully in person next Monday for some Mandalorian and Grogu special treatment. If not, if that doesn't happen, this episode will be out on time, so you'll know whether we got to go or not. So we'll hopefully know the next day or two if we got in. But we've been told we're in. We just got to get the hot little ticket in our hand. Well, you're back on the airwaves. Do you want to give a little plug with that before we go?
Yes, I recorded just a little solo, 20-minute catch up on the what I've been doing the last few months, it seems. So I'm hoping to hit up some people and have some interviews soon. I just thought I'd drop something to get the feed working again. Come back to awake.
Yep.
Wake up.
Yep.
Yeah. So that Geek Pod. Hopefully, I'll start putting some stuff out, some different stuff, and I'm sure there'll be lots of celebration talk, in the next few months as well, as people talk me off a ledge of planning too far ahead.
Yeah, well, it's as is tradition. Celebrations every 2 years, and every year leading up, we make sure that Catherine feels confident with their choices, which are always the right choices, and everything always goes fine. But that's all right. You can never be too careful, on these things. So, yep, great. We'll speak to everybody next week. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, Josh.
Bye for now. Bye.